सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्ध ज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशांताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिपात्रे नमः। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन आज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातु अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोध अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशांति कल्याण एकता प्राप्त्यर्थं समस्त सनातन धर्म स्थापकानां सेवकानां भक्तानां समस्त विघ्न निवारण शक्तीनां संपदानाम् अवाप्त्यर्थं श्री तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणं श्री आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणं। Let us do the chanting of second Brahmananda Valli. Let us do for the three Anuvakas. Om अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानंद वल्ली। ओम शांति मंत्रः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिते ते तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाश सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोस्तेजः तेजस आपः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति अन्नाद्वै प्रजाः प्रजायन्ते याः काश्च पृथिवीगश्रिताः अतो अन्नेनैव जीवन्ते अथैनदपि यन्त्यन्ततः अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते सर्वं वै तेन्नमाप्नुवन्ते येन्नं ब्रह्मोपासते अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते अन्नात् भूतानि जायन्ते जातान्यन्नेन वर्धन्ते अद्यतेत्ति च भूतानि तस्मादन्नं तदुच्यत इति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादन्नरसमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा प्राणमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्राण एव शिरः व्यानो दक्षिणपक्षः अपान उत्तरपक्षः आकाश आत्मा पृथिवी पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ते मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ते ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणपक्षः सामोत्तरः पक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरसः पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ओम शांति 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 ओमत श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदा ओम यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरेयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 Saluting Vedavyasa, Vaishampayana, Agnivalkya, Adya Shankaradi Gurus, saluting all the Gurus who brought Upanishads up to us, to our own Gurus, let us salute, mainly our pranams to Shruti Mata and the Parabrahma, asking all of them to give us such sharp, subtle intellects that we are able to understand each and every guidance, direction, knowledge given by the Shastras, by the Guru, and we get fully convinced of it also, then we are on the sadhana to reach the Siddhi. In that prayers itself, one thing to be added is what therefore we also can do and should do or have to do, along with prayers in which we are invoking Bhagavan's Krupa wherever it is difficult for us. Now we have to see, born as human and living life only at the gross level. And should we not go into the subtle levels? A question we should ask. In the same way, for the sake of our own moksha, when the Rishi Muni Guru have given us such a wonderful literature of Shastra Jnanam, and the subsequent Gurus have come and gave us the Bhashya, the Vartika, or the Trikas to make a spoon feeding of this moksha giving Jnanam to us. Should we respond to it or not? Should we not take advantage of all these blessings and opportunities? We should think. Or should we continue in the same gross world of delusion wherein we give importance to the unimportant things and like that the days, months, years and the lives are getting on past. We have to sometimes pause and think for ourselves. The Krupa of the Rishi Muni we have to understand, the Krupa of Paramatma we have to understand, and the very good facilities, conveniences we have to understand, and also the opportunities. From this should come that desire to know the Paramatma, and in that also the sense of urgency. In that sense of urgency only, every day, every moment, continuously, we focus ourselves, we put ourselves only on the path of Adhyatmikata. To such person alone, who is relentless, continuous, with full inspiration zest on the path, that the inner and outer obstacles keep on moving away, and slowly he can reach to Paramatma in the understanding, in the comprehension, again on the dhyana sthiti, even as an anubhava also. So let us recognize this. Our Rishi's contribution of the Shastras for our own sake. Let us no more be childlike or childish in our life and behavior of routinely doing the same thing, which is binding only, not giving us the eternal happiness or the mukti. You can see each of the Upanishad, Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna. In that, don't we see the Daya, Karuna of the Shruti Mata? And when we go through the Bhashyam, are we not seeing so much of concern for our moksha? Bhai? The Bhashyakaras, Adi Shankara and all, how word to word they are explaining, how they are telling us why we have to pursue only Paramatma sadhana to reach Him. Is it not? How kind they are, how wonderful they are, and what are the benefits they have when we do? Do they get any extra bonus, extra salary, promotions, any incentives, etc.? Kuch bhi nahi. They just out of the apara kripa and apara karuna told us, study Upanishad, it tells you about Paramatma. When they came to know that we can't study by ourselves, then they came out and explained to us word by word, sentence by sentence, sloka by sloka, chapter by chapter, the entire thing. And why should we continue to be such a buddhu at the intellect level of not either trying to know or wanting to know or not even knowing about these higher things? How can we justify ourselves to be very unintelligent, ignorant about our own life and path of bandha and moksha? How long? How can it be justified? That's how in all the Shastras, the disciples, because of whom, while giving the knowledge, the gurus, they brought out the Shastra. All those disciples have asked this way the question. Tell us by knowing which everything known. Tell us the shreyas for us. Such a beautiful intellect they had that they want to know the best. They want to know the ultimate. They want to gain to that state above which there is nothing and below they don't want to. That is how every of the Upanishad you see the glory of those disciples. Even other Purana Itihas also. Everywhere we can see genius of these human beings evolved in their intellect to become the Adhyatmic Sadhaka from mere samsari. They have just come to that intellectual inquiry level, wanting the ultimate to know. And the gurus were also equally pleased to see the evolved level of those people. They poured out the wisdom. Subsequently, the Vyasa, the Bhagavan, avatars, they made it into the form of a pothi and the text, then it is passed on up to us. It's in front of us only. See the human beings, अपने सामने अपने ही हाथ में मुक्ति का द्वार खुला है, लेकिन हम उसके अंदर प्रवेश नहीं करना चाहते. That is what is the tamoguna. That is where from you have to rise above. Just like everything, friends, relatives, parents, everyone are there for us to help. But in a peculiar ego, in a peculiar tamoguna, we don't recognize their presence, contribution, so we don't seek their help for our own betterment of life. A type of lethargy. That is the Pashu life. Pashus are lethargic. They don't ask the help. अपना जीते रहते बस घास फूस खाते हुए. In the same way, we live life outside. Just like the outside also, we are aloof, alone, not taking the help of the parents or anyone for our betterment. Higher level may we don't take the help of Bhagwan, His presence. We don't take help of Rishi Muni Gurus, their anugraha, and we don't want to be guided by the most divine, these Shastras. A type of intellectual lethargy. You and I have to come out. And come to what stage? All through the day, the Shastras are in front of us, the study is continuously happening, the essence of the Shastra Jnanam is being gained, and on that we are doing contemplation. We are getting the essence of it. That is inspiring us. With that inspiration, we have planned very well. Having planned well, we gathered all the resources. With the resources, we took initiative, and that initiative we started our sadhana and carefully going through the sadhana, balancing, managing ourselves. That should be life. Like anybody who is diving deep into the ocean, how he trains himself about what is the ocean, how the water is heavy, not like the rivers, how to negotiate with small, little higher, lower tides and waves, how to go deep inside, how to protect from the inner aquatics, animals, and then go. He does it, the diving, with all oxygen equipments he keeps and goes. So to an astronaut, when he's in the spacecraft in the space, how he gets trained himself thoroughly, and thus, in that space, he goes, wonders he finds to give back to us. And the same thing we are seeing in our Bhagavatam in Lord Krishna's, the teachings of those last four and a half, five slokas. Same should be in our life. Yesterday, how see? Matto nushikshitam yatte viviktam anubhavayan. How Bhagavan was so excellently, kindly, he was guiding us. मय्यावेशितवाक्चित्तः मद्धर्मानु अनु मद्धर्म परमो भव. Before that also, right from that, गच्छोद्धवमयादिष्ट वदर्याख्यं मम आश्रमं तत्र स्नात्वा मत्पादतीर्थे शुचिर्भूत्वा ईक्षयालकनन्दाय. How every one of them are so systemic. Viduta Shesha Kalmashaha. Then Valkalani Anga, then Manyabhuk Sukhanispuhaha, then Titikshu Dvanda Matranam, Samyata Indriyaha, then Shantaha, Samayadadiya, Jnana Vijnana Samyutaha. How crystal clear are each of those instructions of Bhagavan. And before that, the subject matter dealt of the Mukti Marga, both through the Bhakti Sadhana as well as the Jnana Sadhana. We as humans, if you really want to reach to the greater and higher, not only coming out of the lower, coming out of the lower samsara and all, enough of that type of talk. Let us think positive. As a human, we can achieve greater and higher wisdoms, greater and higher truths of our own self and the world. We can discover, we can even taste them, we can even near to them, we can visualize them, we can experience them. Then today we will see Bhagavan says, if you continue like that, Mad Bhavam Paramam, you will reach to my own sthiti. Ati Vraja Gati Stri Spraha Mame Vaishyasi. Let us go on thinking about these things again and again. Then only those thick layers of being where we are in that comfort zone, we come out and try for better, try for higher. Is the only human being who has got all abilities, intelligences, opportunities to try to do better and achieve better than what he is now. All other trees, plants, animals, they don't have. So if we don't use that faculty to better ourselves from where we are, then there's no difference between us and other animals. That thought should come into us as our own. Not a negative way, but positive only. What? Dissatisfied with our own present level of conscious living to the higher level of conscious living, to a greater level. And this is what the entire Vedanta or spirituality about, called as Adhyatmikata, where from the focus paid on or put on to the Anatma, we shift our attention to the Atmavastu. And going on improving the Atmavastu. Improving Atmavastu means all the Panchakoshas are refined, beautified, empowered, strengthened, then integrated using such personality. All this is done through karma and bhakti and yoga. Using this type of well prepared personality, going through that Vedantic Adhyatma Jnana Marga to the higher identity of our own self. That should come to us. Let us not grow no anymore in the darkness to find the eternal, everlasting comfort or safety or security in continuously changing world of multiplicity. Our study of Shastras so regularly should bring this most important basic change or transformation in us. Let's not bundo what we want in that where it is not available. First of all, let us become pakka ki what exactly we want and know that it is not available where we are searching. Let us search where is it available, and it is available only in our own swa anubhuti, that is gained through our own adhyatmic sadhana, which starts with the Shastra Shravana Manana Chintana Adhyanam. In that alone, day in and day out, let our brain be stormed in these things. The brainstorm they talk about these adhyatmic vishayas. So far, our brain was in the storm of the passions, greeds of the mana, attractions of the senses, and so many self invited problems of the world. आ भैल मुझे मार ऐसे बोलते हैं, go to the jagat and kick me. This is what we do. For such a foolish we are. Jagat never wants us. It tells you be your place, whatever work is given, please do. That is enough for us. But we only enter and we only make the world enter us, and we create such a commotion in our mind, buddhi, storm, and continuously get tormented by those storms. Instead of that, let us do the brainstorming regarding what's moksha, what is jnanam, what is the substratum of the entire world and me, what is my own actual sarupa. In this way, when we start become more and more deeper to only that person, which is very rare specimen among many, that the subtle things start appealing or understandable or revealed. And he alone can rise above, lower, reach the higher and higher and help himself in evolving. यहीं रहकर इस समस्याओं का हल नहीं होता. हमें ऊंचे ऊंचे या गहराई में या स्वरूप में या आत्मा में ऑल आर सेम जाना ही पड़ता है. So in that text sense only, these are all shastras given to us. And that's how in that brahmacharya grahastha ashrama, fully leave the world, exhaust yourself, take a vanaprastha, balance in that life of the three things of living in limitations and also getting out of the earlier lives of life and slowly prepare for your exclusive spirituality. This is what in vanaprastha ashrama we have to do. Live in the limited things, get out of all the earlier habitual life what we lived in the Grahastha ashrama, then prepare for exclusive only spirituality. When the first two are fulfilled, that we are habituated to live in minimum things which saves our time, etc. So too we have withdrawn from the routine what we were doing earlier. Time and energy are fully conserved. Now what to do with them? Then exclusively applying ourselves only an adhyatmikata. Without changing our outer dress or anything, not required. Inside we should discover that sannyasitva in us. The sannyasi is he whose only goal is to know the truth, to know the reality, to know the Brahman, to know the Atman, to know the self. Through that, identifying with that, permanently coming out of all limitations. That is a fulfilling life. Maybe all that way we equipped in these things, strengthened in these things, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, that in us the upsurge of wanting to know the truth is so strong that we have the guts, abilities to say no to everything else and exclusively only in this day in and day out. Fully professional. And now we're all amateurs. Not knowing also the thing completely, and even whatever is known, not fully meaning business in that. A professional is not so. Professional knows all the things regarding his profession and fully involves in that thing. That's why it's called as a professional. Let us be the professional, not only coming to the class, professional sadhakas, wherein the subject matter is thorough pakka to us, and the pursuit to establish in that self fully, wholeheartedly, we are doing. May all the Tathastu Devatas bless us with the word Tathastu at this very moment. These things again and again, if we don't remind, then our studies become mechanical. Our upasanas become flavorless. Our spirituality becomes boring. Then at that time, the worldliness which is waiting outside, again बोलते हैं तब भी बोला ना मैंने, don't go to spirituality, it's very boring. Never mind, अकल आ गया तुमको, आ जाओ. Let us go back to our earlier world of all धूम धाम enjoyments. If these type of thoughts, if we don't entertain, little gambhirata say with emotions, etc., then in the beautiful pursuit of spirituality only, we become bored up. Then the worldliness again attracts us. We have to protect ourselves. That day when we discover that we have to protect ourselves, that day when we discover that we have to inspire ourselves, that day when we discover that we have to put our efforts, is it not? That is a golden day. It should happen in all of us. It is my life. I have to protect myself. I should see that I am not falling down to earlier place. And I must know that I have to put efforts. Efforts are of two types. One, theoretical perfection. Second, practical perfection. And be in that all the time. Never get demotivated or misguided by anything opposite to this. And wherever the source of inspiration is there, approach, then get inspired. In that way, our life should be every moment celebration of working sincerely, professionally towards the goal ultimate. This is what we have to be. Now, these Upanishads, that's how empower us. We are in Taittiriya, Brahmananda Valli, where one of the topmost topic, one of the topmost or important topics discussion we are in. Wherein first sentence was Brahmavid apnoti param, the knower of Brahman obtains ultimate, and it was very thoroughly analyzed by Bhashyakara for us कि Brahma being all pervading, Brahma being Sarvasya Atma, therefore it is already is with us as us. Yet we are not experiencing it. Therefore we are experiencing the life of Jiva with the Upadhi. Thus the limitations are happening in us. So to come out of all these limitations, we have to experience ourselves. And already we are that, but still why we are not experiencing it? The clarity given was jnana ajnana apekshatvat brahmanaha prapti apraptyoho. This is where the whole crux of our true spiritual Vedantic sadhana is. Main hub ye hai point. We are already that. But we have the avidya of it. That avidya is in another way, other side, making us identify with the upadhi and making us jiva. So through the Brahma Vidya, we will remove the avidya also. Through the Brahma Vidya, we reach near to our Swarupa. Finally, in the experience of the Swarupa, not even Vidya is required. मुझे अपने आप का अनुभव करने के लिए कोई इंटेलेक्चुअल नॉलेज की भी जरूरत नहीं है. Because I am already that. But before that, Vidya is essential for removing the avidya. Then only Param, which is already our essential nature, it is apnoti, praptasya prapti. The 10th man was never created, never invented, never purchased, never brought. He was always there and he was that person only. He was only made to focus attention. In that focus, the covers were removed and he just discovered. Now imagine what is the experience of the 10th man. You know, every man whom he was searching for the 10th person, the last person. Experience is what? The one because of whose absence I was becoming so miserable is me only. Is it not? Is me only. Is nowhere else, nobody else. मैं ही वो हूँ. What a ananda it is. Then he starts next time counting from himself first. First I am. Then from me the other 9. So never the hisab kitab goes wrong to give us misery. Same way, I am Brahman. From me the pure conscious existence the entire world is projected. So I myself am in the form of the world through the power of a projection, which is allowed for the sake of play, not allowed when the play is taken so seriously and really to such an extent that the reality is forgotten. That much change we have to bring. But before that, to ascertain, we have to reach to our own self through all the means. After the Anubhuti of Paramatma only, we can talk that everything is my own projection, therefore there is nothing other than me. Before that, theoretically, all that is helpful to withdraw our attention from them, focus on our own self. So, Brahmavidapnoti Param is a sentence to be pondered, contemplated every day. Okay, whenever we sit for meditation from now onwards, only the knower of Brahman obtains the ultimate. I want the ultimate. Ultimate is gained only through the Brahman Jnanam. So, therefore, I have to have the Brahma Vidya. I have to have Brahma Vidya. This we have to go on saying. Then Brahman we have to discover it. Therefore, to discover the Brahman which is already, it has to be separated from the Abrahma. Okay, because the mixed up is going on. Therefore, to separate the Brahma Tattva from the Abrahma Tattva, the Abrahma Rupi Jiva Jagat Ishvara, the Lakshanas which are not there in it, and the Lakshanas which are specific only for the Brahma, we have to know. So that in search of this specific Lakshana Yukta Brahma, we reach Brahma. Like in this specific Lakshana Yukta Vyakti's search, we reach the Bhakti. Whatever the Lakshanas are told, then through searching the Lakshana we reach. So the Brahma is Lakshita, then the Lakshanas are these, you search it. And that Brahman is already there, that is inside us only, it is as our own selves. Just become very sharp in your intellectual understanding while listening and doing mananam, equally subtle, it transcending the grossers to reach to that subtle understanding. Then the avidya is removed in that pursuit. The vidya is developed, avidya is removed. At that total avidya removal and vidya finished its work very nicely, the curtain is removed. You are in the pratyaksha darshana with your own self. Therefore, the Brahma Lakshanas to directly reach to the Brahman, avoiding everything which is other than Brahman, in which we were lost so far for various reasons. And now the big reason is only one. We never did the vicharana. Therefore, in that avicharana or non-inquiry, the Brahman is forgotten, the Abrahman is taken as self. Now, through the Vicharana, the not self, the Abrahma that will be rejected, then the Brahman is apprehended. In this Upanishad, first Brahma Vidya is given through these three Lakshanas. Thereafter, from this first Anuvaka only, introduction ke dwara, even in the subsequent Anuvakas, what is the Abrahma called as the Panchakoshas, uska vivek kara ke unko reject kara. Each of the Upanishad, each of the Guru follows one or the other approach. Some first only they talk about Anatma and prove that it is Anatma. Then the question is raised, therefore, what is Atma? That Atma is this one. Like in Mandukya Upanishad. First, the Vishwa is explained, then Tejas is explained, then Prajna. Then, other than these three, is the Turiya Purusha. That approach was there. Here, first Brahma Tattva is told. Then the question, why is not experienced? Because it is hidden behind the experience of the Abrahma, which consists of these five koshas. Therefore, analyze these five koshas, each of them, and discover it to be the Anatma. As it is discovered as Anatma, and when you reject the Brahma Jnanam, which is already theoretical in you earlier, it becomes your Anubhuti. This Upanishad approaches like that. First itself is said, Brahmaviti only achieves the Param, and these are the Brahma Lakshanas. Then such Brahman, from him only all the Panchamahabhutas came, from that only entire world came. Out of the world, one is Panchamahakoshas, Panchakoshas. With that Panchakosha, you have identified, therefore you are living like the Jiva or Dehadi or Manadi or Buddhyadi, forgetting your Brahma Swarupa. Therefore, be sharp, subtle, intellectual in your analysis and know them and reject them to be anatma. Then be back to your own essential self. You experience mukti from your own earlier bandhanam. That is how this Upanishads approach. So, in this, the second line gave us the Adbhuta Lakshana of the Brahmana. Again, these Lakshanas are not the Visheshanas to describe, etc. These Lakshanas are this Lakshana or the Dharma or the Swarupa of the Brahman. Inasmuch as the Brahman cannot be without these three Lakshanas, and these three Lakshana Yukta Vastu is Brahman alone. Thus, these three Lakshana-yukta Vastu, when you discover in the state of your meditation, within the core of your own personality, that which you experience is called as Brahma. That is called Brahma Vidya. Then that experience itself proves to you that you have found the Param, the ultimate. Once the ultimate Param is obtained, what to do or what is the use of or the need of any Aparam? The highest when we gain, there is nothing to do or nothing required to be done with the aparam, the lower, the jiva dehadi. So that's how second line was Tadesha Bhyukta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is what is under discussion for us from last 2-3 days. Every day's mananam makes the knowledge firm and clear and doubt free. And continuously we have to do this more than any other japa upasana, because this is where is the goal also indicated, the sadhana also indicated, the preparation also indicated, the effort also indicated. This is why the importance of this particular anuvakam. So in that also, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, we have exhaustively seen why Satyam is called Brahman. What is the meaning of Satyam? And that Satyam is Brahman. And what is done by explaining Satyam as Brahman? Ki vikarat vinivartayati. Satyam Brahma iti shabdam. Brahma vikarat nivartayati. So the Satyam Brahma is a sentence. Satyam Brahma means Satyam is Lakshana of the Brahma. So this Lakshana of the Brahma, what it is doing? It is explaining about Brahma that it is without vikara. It is explaining about the Brahman that it is without vikara. Reverse करके उसको समझना है. Therefore, that state of being or experience where there is no vikara, that is called as Brahman. And in this contemplation and while doing so, rejecting everything which is a Brahma, that is which is vikaravan, that we reach to that the avikari Brahma as experience. There are two levels. One is conceptual understanding of Brahman to be avikari. Using this concept, all the vikaravan we go on rejecting, saying that it is not so, it is not so, it is not so. Brahman. Like the Lakshanas of the person are told to go and find a railway station. So with those Lakshanas, all the people with other Lakshanas, all the Visheshyas with other Visheshanas are rejected. Then with this Visheshana Yukta, Vyakti when you see, after that the Lakshanas you are not worried about now. And after you discover that person like a red shirted fellow or a blue panted fellow or very fat fellow, in this way Lakshanas are told. Once you know him through that Lakshana, then you are now with that person. अब हो गया हर दिन उसको वही ड्रेस पहनने की जरूरत नहीं. You know him. In the same way, through this Brahma Lakshana concept, the wrong concepts are rejected. For the rejection of the wrong concepts, only the Lakshana of the Brahma are used. Thereafter, this Lakshana Brahma is experienced as my own self. Therefore, Satyam Brahma is equal to Brahma Aham Asmi is equal to Aham Satyam Asmi. Therefore, Aham Sat Brahma Asmi. That should be the experience. If that doesn't happen, is not happened, means our journey is not yet reached to the expected destination. Satyam Brahma Vikarat Nivartayati. So keep on daily talking about everything modifiable is a Brahma. Only the non-modifiable only thing is Brahma. Therefore, everything Vikaravan is to be slowly kept away to reach to the avikari Atma or Brahmavastu. Atma and Brahma are replaceable words. So, Satyam Brahma iti Brahma vikarat nivartayati. Satyam Brahma, this definition of Brahman, this Lakshana of the Brahman, proves the Brahma to be free from vikaras. Therefore, avikari Brahma. And again, it is not a Vastu. It is an Anubhuti. When that Anubhuti comes to us, that Anubhuti Yukta me alone is everywhere there, that thing comes. Like at this moment also, I am me. My Anubhuti of me is which part of the body it is? Everywhere I am. From the toe to the head hair level, मैं हर जगह पे हूँ कि अनुभव होते कि नहीं? Exclusively when I talk, while talking, I am a talker or speaker. While listening, I am a listener. With every of the upadhi, I am so. These are all particular expressions of me. But generally, if I am asked, who are you? I am permeating everywhere of my body. With each of the body, at that moment, I am that. While walking with legs, walker. Working with the hands, I am a worker. But then, basically, I am everywhere there. So, to basically, I am the Sat Brahma. With the Maya, when the Sattva Guna of the Maya is there, I am the knower. With the Raja Guna, I am the doer. Then third one with Tama Guna, I am just a Dravya. My own Maya. With my own Maya, I am only appearing as this world of knowledge, activity and inertia. There is nothing other than me. That's how the state we come to. So Satyam Brahma is Brahma Vikarat Nivartayat. But then we saw this avikaritva of the Brahma, because the word Satyam brings limitation in Brahma, that it becomes Karta as well as it becomes Jada. Why it become Karta? Because that which is Avikari should be the Karana for everything. So Karanam is in that we attend to the Karakatva comes. This Karakatva nullifies the earlier definition of Satyatva. Therefore, the अविकारित्व को रखते हुए भी कारणत्व को निकालना है. कारणत्व के साथ साथ जड़त्व को भी निकालना है. Because anything karana is modified and anything jada also perishable. So modifiable, perishable Brahma already is Jagat. We are in that. We are already suffering in that. Then how can we again take the same thing? लेकिन कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि नहीं, किसी होटल में कुछ खाने को अच्छा नहीं लगा, दूसरे में गए वहाँ ऑर्डर किया, उसने भी वही सेम चीज उसने भी दिया. Therefore, the second word, the jnanam, is used. So, the purpose of the second word is what? Jnanam ka. We have to understand. Then how that purpose is achieved is the explanation. The purpose of second word, the jnanam, is to remove the karakatvam or kartrutvam as well as jadatvam. Because everything jada, inertia, and nobody experiences themselves to be the jada. We are all conscious only. And everything jada is anatma. We are searching the atma. Therefore, the jnanam word is used. Jnanam word is used to remove the kartrutva, karakatva, karanatva as well as jadatva. What did the Satyam word do? It removed the modification. Now be careful, be conscious. The अविकारी है परमात्मा वस्तु, सो टू वो किसी का कारण नहीं है और उसके अंदर कोई कारणत्व नहीं है, इसलिए कारकत्व नहीं है. देन वो अपने आप ही है, और वो अपने आप है तो जड़ है क्या? नोदो चैतन्य. That Brahma we have to discover. We don't want the Brahman expressed through the Maya in the form of the world. Already उसमें फंसे हुए हैं ना, हमको उसी से बाहर आना है. We are the purified Brahman we have to reach to. Purified. Just I am using the word to say. Brahman, impure Brahman nahi hota. Brahman. Same thing we are studying in our Yoga Darshanam also. Self is tatapi bhavati na tatha. The drashta is always in his own nirvishesha chaitanya. In the niruddha avastha that is experienced. But in uttana avastha, though it is so, but not experienced as so, because of his identity with the vrittis. This is what we are going to study today in that class also. So here also the same explanation we see. Therefore, Brahman is talked as the Jnapti, the Jnanam also. Now, which is the Jnanam which is Karana Rahita, which is the Jnanam which is not Jadata, we have to explain. Therefore, when we talk about the Jnanam, in general experience of ours, we are all Jnani, Hardin. We are using our Pancha Jnanendriyas, we are using our Mana and Buddhi, and we are getting the Jnanam of the world. Is this Brahman who is explained as Jnanam, whose Lakshana is as Jnanam, is it like this? No, no, no. It is not having any of the differentiations of the knowledge which we gain through the Upadhi of the Buddhi or the Vrittis. Therefore, Jnanam is Jnapti, Jnanam is Avbodha, Jnanam is Bhavasadhana. Very crucial words they are used. Therefore, this Jnanam is Bhavasadhana Rupa, Jnapti Rupa Avabodha Matram, and this Jnanam is not Jnana Kartru. ज्ञान क्रिया का कर्ता नहीं है ये वाला ज्ञान, मतलब ये ब्रह्म ज्ञाता नहीं बनता. See, like you and I, as a jiva, we are all jnata. For us, the instrument of the jnanam are the antakarana as well as the indriyas. And the jnana vastus are the shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha, or the emotions or the intellectual concepts. Again, आप उसी स्थिति में रहो, तो then you are still as a jiva. Therefore, the difference between the jnanam gained through upadhis and the Brahma defined as jnanam, we have to find. Word used as jnanam only, but there this is called as savishesha jnanam, vritti yukta jnanam, triputi yukta jnanam. The triputi of jnata jnanam name is there in all our knowledges. There, the Gnaya Vastu is different from the Jnata, and there is a Kriya of Jnanam happening through the Indriyas, through the Antakarana. So, ये जीवा ज्ञान करता है, ज्ञान पाता है, and he needs it for his vyavahara and all. Because I must know, and to know I must have Indriyas, and Indriyas should be backed by Antakaranam. Then only, like I have to go somewhere. So, my eye should see, no, where to go. My intellect should be clear in its concept, हाँ इसी तरफ जाना है. Then I will go. In the Parabrahma Swarupa, the definition of Brahman as Jnanam is not that way. It is that pure Jnanam, pure Jnapti इसलिए कहा उसको. Jnapti, without, in that there is something to be known. That is why Avabodha, not both of this something. That's what is said in Yoga Darshan as Sarupa Avasthanam. Mukti Ritvanetharupam Sarupena Vyavastitihi. So, undifferentiated, pure nascent knowledge. That we call it Chaitanya Matra. That's because consciousness. We call it as awareness. So the objectless awareness. Consciousness without being conscious of something. No, in this only the sadhana is said. Therefore, as long as we are conscious of something, we'll have the conceptual knowledge, not the knowledge of Brahman. Therefore, to have the jnanam of Brahma, all the offs have to be offed, removed. Then only pure jnapti swarupa Atma Chaitanyam we reach. For that only we are taught the drashta bhava and sakshi bhava. That also who can do? The one who has got vairagya. And who can do that? Who has got viveka. And what is viveka? Everything is mithya, unreal. It will bind if I go for it. Only Paramatma is Satyam. If I gain him, I am permanently happy. That first step of viveka ke vina, second step of vairagya ke vina, third step of drashta bhava and sakshi bhava ke vina, fourth step of the off ko remove kiye vina, the fifth step of pure jnapti swarupa ayam, that experience will not come. So you have to be very clear about it, the theory. Don't try to change the theory, whether you practice it or not. सिद्धांत ज्ञान को अपने कन्विंस के वास्ते नहीं बदलना. It's not like governments whenever they come new that they change the entire thing for their convenience. सब तोड़ फोड़ करते नया बनाते, फिर नया आया तो इसको चेंज करके उसने अपने हिसाब से बनाया. It is not like that. You need not do sadhana, but don't try to alter the facts in the pursuit of spirituality. So jnanam jnaptihi jnanam avabodha. Here jnanam is bhava sadhana and jnanam is jnana kartru. What is jnana kartrutva? He is becoming the karta of the jnanam through the upadhi of antakarana vritti, where the jnata, jnana, jneya differentiation is happening. In every knowledge, this triputi is a must. But in Brahma Jnanam, we are talking about that Jnanam where this triputi is not there. Knower, known, knowledge, differentiation, less pure conscious awareness. That is Brahman. By saying this only, what is said, in the pure Brahman, when it is not known as pure consciousness, itself gets first divided into Jnata and Gnayam. Then the Jnata is trying to know the Gnayam, that's called as Jnanam. That Jnanam we are not talking. The created knowledge by the knower of the known, we are not talking that. Like I look at chair. So the chair knowledge is created in me and I become the karta of the chair's knowledge. The chair is an object, then I am the knower of it, it's known and I am knowing it as a thought. So Brahman is not a thought, Brahman is not a thought of the known, nor a thought of the knower, nor a thought of knowing. All the three are vritti only. Vrittyatmaka. Every jnanam is vrittyatmaka other than Brahman. Therefore, all the vritti sahitatva we have to reject or transcend. Vritti rahita kevala jnapti matra we have to reach to. Remember this word, pure jnapti. Consciousness without conscious of something. Awareness without any object in it to be aware of. Therefore, that is there in us. That is your essential nature. In that only there is infinitude and bliss are there. When we fall to the level of the Jnatrutva, and I told you yesterday, though this is not mentioned here in Bhashyakara and all, the moment we become aware of something through the thoughts, the continuous next generation of thoughts of analyzing that Neya Vastu, then labeling it as good or bad, then liking it or disliking, all these next set of diseases just they come. All of us are therefore suffering. That is why what is the moksha? Brahmajnanam. What happens Brahmajnaname? Pure Satchit Rupa Brahma alone is there. There is nothing other than it. Because there is nothing other than it, there is nothing to be labeled as good or bad. Therefore, no raga dvesha. Therefore, no samsara. Therefore, sarvam Brahma, in this jnanam, other than Brahma, there is nothing there for creating the likes, dislikes, which alone are making me, the jiva, go through samsara of running towards what I like, running away from what I don't like. A Brahmajnani is in the same world, but still he is not in samsara because he has no likes or dislikes. Why? To like or to dislike, there is no thing to him other than his own self, which is Brahman. Therefore, being in the world, dealing with the world is not samsara. They are also in the same world. What creates samsara? When you see the things, we say something is liked by me, disliked by me, that's samsara. Why did you say so? Because you labeled this as good or this as bad. Why did you do that also? Because the things known are through the medium of the thoughts. Beyond the medium of the thought is substratum. See from the substratum standpoint and do the vyavahara as it's required outside. In between wala jo, forgetting substratum, having seen through the medium, labeling them as good or bad, that's the cause of problem. If one can with wisdom avoid that, he is in the same world, behaving exactly like everyone, therefore, and yet he is not in a samsara. To such a great jnani, when you a sweet, he eats it. How is it? He normally answers, very good. Because you asked, I said it's very good. But if you ask me my own opinion, I say, I am self, I am the eater, and object eaten also is me only. On me, the eater, eaten, eating, these three are projected. One consciousness, me only, here is the eater, there the eaten, and connection between them, the eating. Therefore, it is something happening without happening anything. Therefore, there is no samsara to him. But पूछो तो कहते हैं अच्छा है. And you will also give opinion. कुछ और आइडिया इसके बारे में, थोड़ा चीनी ज़्यादा है, टू मच, थोड़ा कम करने से अच्छा होगा. तो हम क्या करें, थोड़ा बेसन मिलाओ. या चीनी कम है, इस नाम के वास्ते मिठाई है, मीठा है ही नहीं, सो ऐड लिटिल शुगर. दिस ऑल व्यवहार. देयर इज नो samsara. Brahmagnani lives like that. Okay. Now, if this jnanam is kartru, what happened to him? He has reduced from avikari to vikari. Therefore, the satyatva is disturbed in it. Therefore, that Brahman which is jnanam is not that once you define it as jnanam, its satyatva is gone away. Why do you say so? Because all the three words are used by Shruti Mata at one place only as Lakshana to Brahman. Although each Lakshana is independently related to Brahman, in Brahman all the three should be there. So when you say Satyam Jnanam, Satyam is not Jnanam, Jnanam is not Anantam. Okay? But Satyam is Brahman. If that Brahman has to be Satyam, he should be Jnanam also. If he is Jnanam, he should be Anantam also. If he is Anantam, he should be Satyam also. Then only the clear Brahman or what is aimed at, the Brahman which gives mukti, we have understood it, we have reached it. Therefore, if the Jnanam, Brahman has to be Jnanam, it should be Satyam also. Satyam is avikari. Therefore, it should not become Jnana Karta. Karta बनते ही विकार आ गया उनमें. See the logic there. See, these are all Vedantic logics. How much struggle our Rishis Munis must have put while analyzing about the ultimate Brahman. And the purpose of all this analysis is what? Not to mix up again Brahman with anything other than him as we have done now. Because already Jiva is Jnana Kartru through the Upadis. If Brahman also is that, then what is the difference between Brahman and Jiva? Wahi samsar chalega. So he is not Jada, he is Chaitanyam. But he is not such Chaitanyam or Jnanam that which is modifiable. If he is modifiable, then he is not a avikari. Therefore, he is only pure Jnapti, not modified to Jnata, Jnana, Jneya, Tribhuti. If he gets modified, the two problems will come. First problem, Jnana Kartrutvam Agaya, because of which the Satyatvam, the Avikaritvam is disturbed. Second word was said was, when the Jnana Kartru it happens, then the Jnata Jneya differentiation comes, then the Anantata also is disturbed. The third word of this Brahma Lakshanam. That's what we saw yesterday. Ki nahi satyata anantata cha jnana kartrutve sati upapadyate. See, when you listen to these things, no, we have to try to feel what is said while understanding intellectual. इंटेलेक्ट को समझना चाहिए, फीलिंग होना चाहिए. लाइक ज्ञान कर्तृत्व होते ही सत्यता अनंतता डिस्टर्ब होते हैं. मीन्स व्हाट? द मोमेंट द कॉन्शियसनेस इन मी is trying to become the knower of the known, then this pure consciousness avikaritva is disturbed, which is already in the world form. I am not interested in that Brahma whose definition is Jnanam, and that Jnanam which is modifiable, I don't want. Because modified means Satyata gone away. When the modification happens, Satyata goes away. Then how can there be permanence in that? We want that Sat Brahma which is always there. Satyam also means eternal. हमको ना वो चीज पाना है वो फिर से नीचे नहीं गिरता, and it should be the top post and highest. For that reason also, the modification cannot be there in the Brahma. Means what? There is a state of being, Brahman, whose definition is Jnanam, which is not coming to the lower level of Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam, Triputi. That Brahman is reality, in which the Triputi are not there. And that real Brahman, which is Jnana Sarupa or Gnapti Sarupa, is me. But not knowing that I am that pure Gnapti Sarupa Brahma, brought this unnecessary concept called as Maya, which created the Triputi of Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam on that Brahman only. Where did that Maya bring the snake? On the rope only. When did the Maya come into operational? When the rope is not known as it is. In the rope, is there a snake? Never ever. So, in the pure conscious Brahman, is there a Triputi of Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam? No. That is called Brahman talked about in all the Upanishads. But that is not apprehended as it is. Therefore, a peculiar phenomena worked which led to the three expressions of Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam. And a very subtle thought is what here, thoda yoga और ये दोनों मिला के बोलो तो that Brahma or that Atma, that which is Chiti Swarupa, pure Chiti Swarupa, be attentive. When it is not apprehended or experienced as it is, that itself immediately comes to the second level called as Chitta. Chitta का बात करते ही immediately it is of two things, the Gneya and Jnata. The knower and known. And the establishment of relation between them is through the jnana. And in the jnaya vastu, the stula, sukshma, karana, the entire world comes. And the jnata tries to have the knowledge of that. This is what we are at this level. This is called as vyuthana sthiti. This is called as the anekata sthiti. This is called as samsara sthiti. Shruga, samsara started. We are on the seat of Dhyanam through these inquiries, going to that pure Gnapti Swarupa, which has not got into the division of these three. No, where is this sublime knowledge of discussing regarding the Gnapti Swarupa Brahma and Jnana, Jnata, Gneya, divided Jiva Bhava? Ye knowledge kidhar hai? And we are lost in the world of gross, impermanent, non-tangible objects as a samsara with so much of raga, dvesha, lust and passion and greed. देखो इसका कितना फर्क है. And that's why the one who is lost in them can never gain this knowledge. Therefore, for the time being, keep that aside and gain this knowledge. In the knowledge of this, everything is known by my own as my own self. Therefore, there is nothing other than me, either for me to like or the hate or fight for or kuch nahi. These are all in unwanted samsara. This is how it is. Now he says, Jnana kartrutvena hi vikriyamanam katham satyam bhavet. Is it not? When the kartrutva comes in the jnanam, it has got modified. Then how can there be satyata in which, because satyam brahma is brahma vikarad nivartayati. Satyam word has rejected vikara in brahma. Jnanam is brahma. Agar jnana becomes karta, then there is a vikara has happened in that jnanam. Therefore, the satyata is cancelled. Therefore, we want the Brahman, which is Gnapti Swarupam, along with Satya Swarupam. Not the moment the Gnapti or Jnanam is told, then Satyata is gone away. No, no, no. We don't want Jnanam Brahma Asatyam. Then it is not at all there. We want Jnanam Brahma with Satyam Brahma. So these are all not I am talking to you. It is an information. Taking the information, you and in your heart, I in my heart, have to search out to that pure consciousness, which is not coming to the lower level of Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam, Triputi. That is why in Vedanta, Gnaya Vastu Parityaga, Jnanameva Vashishyate. That is why the entire Adhyatmika sadhanas aim, you know what is it? First, the reduction of the Gnaya Vastus. To that extent, the reduction in the Jnanam. To that extent, the reduction in the Jnata. एंटायर आध्यात्मिक साधना इस ज्ञाता ज्ञान ज्ञान का रिडक्शन करके इन तीनों के रूप में जो एक्सप्रेस हो रहा था उस परमात्मा में पहुंचना. That's why in Nidra there is no Gneya Vastu, there is no Jnanam, there is no Jnata. But Aham is there, Ananda, bliss. Though nothing of Jnata, Gneya, Jnana, Triputi is there, yet the Anandam in Nidra is more than what is there in Jagrata and Sapna. This repeatedly thinking thing should help us to understand that it's not so necessary that I have to become always Jnata. It's not necessary that I should have the Jnanam of anything which creates samsara. That is why every Jnanam other than Atma Brahma Jnanam is called Ajnanam and Avidya only. Now you understand why is it said so? The moment you wake up from the sleep, the Jnaya Vastu is saying, I become the Jnata, I become the Jnana, I get the Jnana of it, without stopping, immediately the Vasanas come into functioning. Then among the Jnaya Vastus, something I like, something I don't like, oh, they all Raga Dvesh se bhagi rahe. Samsar. Everyone is like that, therefore we think that is the way. Only one rare person says, hey, मैं क्यों अपने स्वरूप से नीचे उतर कर ये त्रिपुट में फंस रहा हूँ? I don't want that. I want happiness. Happiness is in me. Why should I go there? And when he doesn't go into the world of multiplicity, nothing is lost for him. He's in the bliss of self. But for us, इस दुनिया में नहीं रहूं तो या ज्ञेय वस्तु को नहीं जानूं या ये वो कर्म नहीं करूं तो मेरा जीवन अधूरा रहेगा. In this type of moha we are. This is called as delusion. You understand? We have to be clear the meaning of the words. Everything is in words. If the words are clearly understood by us, we will very clearly understand what is sadhya, sadhana, siddhi. So we are talking about a layer in us, ultimate, pure consciousness or Jnapti Swarupa, in which the Jnata Jnanakarta nahi hai, therefore Jnana Karma nahi hai, or Vastu ka Jnan nahi hai. There is nothing other than, it's a pure consciousness. At this level, what is understanding? One pure consciousness alone, not known as it is divided into Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam. And further, the Gnaya Vastu only is expressed as Karana, Sukshma and Stula. And we are at the Stula caught up. And these are all delusion. Why? In the inquiry of the self, when you reach to pure Jnana Swarupa or Gnapti, all of them are not found. Like scientist, when he goes into the inquiry of the every object, he goes into the finding of the atoms or energy. From the energy atom drushti, is there any object? As we see tangible, so these are all objective world is real to the man as long as he doesn't recognize the reality behind it. In the scientific language, it's called as the atoms or the energies. So the delusion is what? Not able to know the truth or reality behind the world, therefore taking the seen appearing world as real. A step further than the scientist is what? Even beyond that atom or the energies is a pure conscious self. Not knowing the conscious self in that projecting this thing and giving reality to this projection is delusion in which you are bound. And it continues till the reality is not found. See that clarity. Take the help of that science and through the scientific understanding, understand what Vedanta says. So that pure Jnapteswar. Same thing. Another problem kya hoega? If you are talking about the Jnana means Jnana Karta. Second is what? Anantam cha katam bhaveto. The other quality of Anantata of the Brahma, वो भी नहीं होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि very interesting discussion. यदि न कुतश्चित प्रविभज्यते तद अनंतम. Remember, by desha, kala, vastu or any parameter, that which is not vibhajyate, divided, that is called anantam. That which is not divided by any parameters is called as Anantam. Now क्या हुआ? ज्ञान कर्तृत्वे. When the Brahman who is Jnapti is taken as Jnana Karta, for him to have the Jnana Kartrutva, Jnaya and Jnana, division आ जाएगा ना उसमें. Jnaya is to be known. Jnana is the knowledge of it. So if I become the Jnana Karta, I have to have the Jnaya Vastu, and I have to have the Jnanam of that. So फिर क्या हो गया? डिविजन हो गया कि नहीं? प्रविभक्तम इति अनंतता न स्यात्. There is no anantata that is obtained. Therefore, we want the Brahman, which is Satyam. Satyam removed the Vikara. And we want a Brahman, which is Jnapti, which is not a Kartru, also not Jada. By using the word Anantam, what is said? That which is not Pravibhakta by any of the parameters. So that is Brahman, which is the Avikari, which is Shuddha Jnana Swarupa, and which is not Pravibhakta because of any reasons. Ananta. On that Ananta Jnapti Swarupa Avikari Brahman, the Santa Jadarupa Vikaravan, entire Jagat of whatever we see now is projected. That's the power of Maya. And see the variety of the things projected, see the fascination and enchantments in them, see how we stuck with wonderment. It's just like the series bulbs. Nowadays, how many types of the movements in that series bulb, everything goes on. We are stuck with wonderment seeing them, but none of the thing is real. Just like any movie. In a variety way, how they project through graphics and all on the movie, the 3D, the 2D effects, but all are projection. But we are fascinated by it. Same way, entire world of gross and subtle and causal with its endless varieties, whatever the beauties are there, enchantments are there in there, wonderments are there, ab kitna bhi lagao, all of that are the projection. Both it projects also, and that projection it shows it to be so beautiful also, objectively, subjectively. It makes me mesmerized by that projection, and then you get lost in it, forgetting the reality. This is called Maya. All of us are living under the influence of this Maya. Very, very important thought we have to know. And none of them are stable again. All are changing, all are going away, and all of them Jada only. Modifying, dying, but enchanting. So we lost in that. What Shastra says Vedanta, भाई इतना enchant है करके you are फंस रहे उसमें, it is not real at all. Real is something. That is why the enchantments called moha, the one who doesn't come back out now, he can never be able to inquire the truth. Unless the truth is inquired and reached, he will not be freed from the bondage of the untrue or unreal. Every one of us. Is it not? Like I'm telling the example only for example's sake. When a great advertisements are there with all natak, and in that ad they give some eatable, and they show so much hype करके उसको. The color of it, the fragrance of it, the taste of it. कोई भी हो, कोई चाय का ad दे रहा है, कोई नमकीन का ad दे रहा है. We look at it and we get fascinated and we go to shop buy it. अब खा के घर में आके बना खा के देखो, it is so worse than what you can make at home. The potato chips का ad आया मानो, they make hype of it. And घर में आके पैकेट खोल के खाया, पैकेट तो कोई खाता नहीं, but पैकेट also attractive. Then inside what is there? Nothing but your own आलू घर का उबाला, उसमें नमक छिड़का, हो गया, उबाल दी या फ्राई कर दी. But is it not that ad, that color, enchanting? And एक घर में एक आलू का 10 पैसे या 1 रुपए होता है, बाहर 20 रुपए. That's okay, secondary. People to sell and get benefit of the money, they give all these ads. That's how they do it. But we, if you think about, Anything you buy outside with spending lot of money, you can make at home with much less amount and all. टाइम नहीं है इसलिए खरीदना अलग बात है. But then, is it not fascinating or enchanting? Second thing is what? Those many things are not required at all. They are all, see, projected, then through beautification, mesmerized, then created a thought that I can't live without it. This is how the drugs, etc., they do. Once few times it is taken, that intoxication is so strong, addict ho jata hai, I can't be without that. Same way, we are addicted to the delusory projected world of gross and subtle and causal multiplicity. Addicted to so much that I can't live without it. That's how the slavery. Slavery means that only कि मैं उसके बिना नहीं रह सकता. What is the mastery? How can I be without? How can't I live without it? I can live. Rather, that is depending on me. I am that Brahman because whom as substratum, the entire world of Ishvara Jiva Jagat is sustaining or projected or existing. How can I depend on them? That is audacity of a spirituality fully understood person. And then it is experienced. बोलो उनकी क्या स्थिति होगी when I discover I am that Brahman who is not only behind this stupid one set of Panchakosha, but any of the Panchakoshas which have come in the past, uncountable trillions numbers, which are there now, which are going to be projected in the future. सबका मैं अधिष्ठान हूं. अब इस अनुभव में अब उसको क्या वर्णन करेंगे? That is why how on that Samagana comes out of him. That possibility is there in us through Vedanta study and meditation to reach to. Denying that, the projected world, in that one Panchakosham, and in that also only I am body, not even risen to the level of the mind and emotions. Even our emotions of mind are only for the body. What a wretched life. Entire Jagrat Jagat is only Dehosmi Sthiti. And to support Dehosmi, whatever the emotions of the mind, whatever the eatables of the pranamaya kosha required, that we do it. Jagrat Avastha ka matlab Dehosmi. And we all are lost. So we have to slowly, living in the same world as others live normally, take up this Brahma Vidya and reach to that Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma Vastu in this inquiry. And all when we are doing here, it is I all alone within my own heart, using all this knowledge, doing contemplation and transcending the Asatya and reaching Satya, transcending the Jada and reaching the Chaitanya, transcending the divisions to reach to the undivisible. Akasha is example. It is example for Satyam and Anantam, but not for Jnanam because Akasha is Jada. The space is inert, but it is always there when other four elements are there in it. And it is the one which is supporting all the four. And those four things doesn't do the division in the space. The inner and outer space division is conceptual, not real. Concepts can be there. Please remember, you can have concepts and imaginations like time. Time is a linear thing. That's it. It is eternal. It goes on. Dividing it into minutes or hours, etc., they're all concepts. They function, they help us. Because of the conceptualization of the time only, we are saying कि 9 बजे मिलेंगे, 11 बजे मिलेंगे, 12 ऐसा. ये व्यवहार है. But as such, the time is indivisible, space is indivisible. But we divide the space as east, west, north, south for transaction purpose. But in the space, there are no divisions. Everywhere it is there only. So neither space nor time are divisible. Even the mana also is indivisible. But it is divided through these three triputi of Jnata, Jnanam and Niyam. That is required for Vyavahara. But Vyavahara gives only limited happiness and more dukkha. Therefore, you have to go back to your own self. For that, you have to transcend all this. So, transcend the divisions, therefore, Anantata. Transcend the doerships and modification, or the what do you call doerships and the inertia, go to the Jnanam, and transcend all modification, reach to the Satyam. So, there is that state of being called Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That is me and that is Brahman. We have not yet finished. We have some more things to discuss here. Then Jnana Kartrutvecha Jnaya Jnanabhyam Pravivaktam iti Anantata Nasyat. Up to this it is seen. If this self in me, the Brahman, becomes the Jnana Kartru, then he is divided into Jnana and Jnaya, Anantata is lost. But if the Brahman is Satyam and if the Brahman is Jnana, it has to be Anantam also. Why? That's how the Shruti Mata defined. And that state of being is there in us. And that alone is reality. And to tell that alone the Shruti Mata has come and to say that only the discovery was that there is liberation for you. तो ब्रह्म ज्ञान के द्वारा ब्रह्म विद्या के द्वारा मुक्ति देने वाले उपनिषद श्रुति माता ब्रह्म को सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम डिवाइन करती है तो हमको उसको उसी तरह समझना है. And while discussion is going on, the Purva Pakshi is raising genuine questions. Those questions are such a powerful ones, and the answers given by the Siddhanti makes the understanding so doubt-free, perfect. Okay. Now, in the next set of discussion, which we initiated yesterday, I remember, today we repeated what we studied so far, so that the knowledge becomes more firm. That's it. Then the quotation given is Yatra Anyat Na Vijanati Saha Bhuma Yatra Anyat Vijanati Tadalpam. Is it not? Yatra Na Anyat Vijanati Saha Bhuma Ata Yatra Anyat Vijanati Tadalpam. When this is said, this quotation को पकड़ता है ये पूरा पक्षी. Says in that sentence Anyat Na Vijanati is said. Swam Na Vijanati is not said. Therefore, this jnanam may be jnana kartru of knowing itself may not be the other. तो अपने आप में ज्ञान कर्तृत्वता से अपने आप को ज्ञान या जानने का ज्ञान क्रिया हो सकता होगा. Now, to this, the Bhashyakara's answer is so powerful. And thereafter, 2-3 more doubts when he asks them, उसका भी हम पक्का समझ लेते हैं ना, then what is the Brahma? The concept of it becomes undoubted. First of all, at the concept level or understanding level, we have to become thorough. Then only we can reach out. Exactly according to that concept. Concept is understanding. So the Purva Pakshi helps us in this regard. Then he says one self alone may be divided as Jnata and Niyam. उसका भी जवाब मुंह तोड़ देना पड़ता है. देन ही से सो ये बड़ा वाला ये जो नेक्स्ट 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 वाला थर्ड पूर्व पक्षी का जो प्रश्न है ना वो इतना मजेदार है. I tell you. वो तो ही टेक्स द सिद्धांति टू द पीक लेवल ओनली. सिद्धांति also loves that questions. By answering it, he clears all the doubts of the Purvapakshi. Then the Purvapakshi gets clear that this is Brahma, Brahman is this Lakshana Brahma, discovery gives realization. How to do that? To reach to that, now where you are lost in the Panchakosha, therefore analyze the Panchakosha and discover them as Anatma. याद रखना आध्यात्मिक साधना में as much important it is to discover the Atma as this, so much is important to understand Anatma as this, and discard it as Anatma. That's why Anvaya and Vyatireka, both are required. If the Anatma Vyatireka is not done, then नहीं किया इसलिए अनात्मा को फिर से आत्मा के रूप में लेना कंटिन्यू होता है. This is a delusion. Like you come to the classes where we say everything is unreal. Again, we live in the world only taken as real. Therefore, neither the samsara going away nor the mukti coming to us. है कि नहीं? Eat the same oily stuff which troubles the stomach. Neither you leave eating that, nor you can avoid the misery of the stomach problem. Dviku problem. Same is all of us. Therefore, ruthlessly rejecting the anatma to reach the atma is inevitable. And the glory of the atma is first said. Then, such a glorious atma you are or Brahma you are, is the being that. Why are you becoming the Panchakosha Yukta Jiva? Oh, yes, sir, I want to come out of it. Okay, I'm giving you the technique. Discuss about each of the Panchakosha. इतना स्क्रूटिनाइज करके क्लियरली हमको बताते हैं अबाउट ईच ऑफ दिस फाइव ऑफ द कोशा एंड इट इज प्रूव्ड देयर इज एन अनात्मा therefore rejected. And the entire Vedanta is what, as we told you 11 days back, ki what, if you are aware of the world is real. If you are aware of the self, self alone is there. So to चित्तवृत्ति निरोध कर दी स्वरूप अवस्थानम, नहीं किया तो वृत्ति सारूप्यम. Don't decide. स्वरूप स्थिति चाहिए या सारूप्य स्थिति चाहिए. सारूप्य is संसार जीव, स्वरूप is मोक्ष. Delusion क्या है? In the sarupya, we are only becoming miserable, yet we don't want to leave it. Like in some of the habits we have, with that our health is getting spoiled, we know, yet we are not able to leave it. That is delusion. That is, it says, पश्यन् अपि च न पश्यति मूढ़ः. देखता हुआ भी नहीं देख रहा. हम सब वही हैं. It's not that we are ignorant, but we are not sufficiently knowledgeable. Nobody is ignorant in this world, but not sufficiently knowledgeable to free from the miseries. Ajnana is not having jnanam. Ajnana is alpa jnanam, viparita jnanam, etc. etc. So tomorrow we will see these two questions and their answers. And that's how enhance our depth of the knowledge, clarity of the knowledge regarding Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, lagao ek aad din aur, but if you can understand it is as it is, that will be much better. Very good for our sadhana. We will be knowing what we have to achieve. पता तो पहले होना चाहिए नहीं कि कहाँ पहुँचना. Where to go, when we know, then only the going is meaningful. Without knowing, everything you go, it's a पागल का तरह है. हर जगह घूम रहा है, पता नहीं कहाँ जा रहा है. After reaching the self, then Brahmajnana has nowhere to go physically. Therefore, he is everywhere. Om, 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रुतिमात्रे नमः तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स.